Hi guys, my name is Shane Conley. I'm the creator of the JSparks platform, and I'd like to go ahead and get started on sort of a demonstration on how to get it up and running. So if you navigate here to the home page, you'll end up with sort of description of how and why it was created and sort of how to get started. We'll get started immediately. And you have the Arduino sketch, which I've already uploaded onto my Sparky. I've got the Android application, which I've already installed on my Android, and I've got the ID here, and that's where we're going to start off this demonstration. So you can go ahead and click this link or just navigate directly to sparky.esquires.com/ID. Now when you're here, your screen's sort of broken up into two sides. The left-hand side is a simulation side, and the right-hand side is a sort of toolbox and an application build-out area. And the simulation still needs a fair bit of work in terms of simulating things like walls and so on, but it'll at least allow you to do some basic simulations for now. So we're going to log in first. So the reason why we log in is that we can share the programs back and forth between the IDE here and the application, the Android application, and also just so you can save and recall your existing stuff. So you notice that, for example, I've already built out one example application here on my account, but we'll go ahead and start a new for this example. All right, so in this example, we'll go ahead and create an application that moves the Sparky forward and then continues to move him forward at some sort of interval until we get close to a wall, and we'll change the LED color along the route. So we'll call this move to wall and change color. Okay, save that. All right, so now that we've got that, again, we want to create this application that moves forward and towards the wall. So we'll start off with the logic here. So let's go ahead and do a loop. So we know we want to repeat while, we'll save this here for later, repeat while the distance is greater than some amount. So under the toolbox here, you're given sort of a control side of Sparky and the sensor side of Sparky. So anything that you can control and like actually manipulate will show up under the control, and anything that you need to read as values will show up in the sensors. So we'll drag the ultrasonic distance out, and we will say if we'll create a logic box, if the ultrasonic distance, or while the ultrasonic distance is, we'll say, greater than 20. So go ahead and drag out a static value, constant value. Then we're going to do something. So we've already created our loop there. And let's say the loop that we want to do is, again, to move the robot forward. We'll move it forward by 10, and we'll change the color. And we'll go ahead and put this in a function because that's kind of cool. And what's great about this is just that functions, variables are incredibly easy to deal with. So we'll say move the robot forward by 10 and just sort of show what variables look like. We'll grab the distance and we'll set it to a variable called distance. This function, we'll call it move forward and change LED. All right, so that's our function. Now that we've got the distance sort of set there, let's go ahead and change the LED. So the LEDs are under the other controllers. Snap that in. We have a color mixer built in, so we can just go ahead and drag this out. And the color mixer is kind of cool. I don't think this screen recorder shows it, but if you hover over this, you'll see tooltips that sort of say that this mixes values of 0 to 100. So we'll go ahead and get rid of these. So I've got an idea. I'll just I'll move from green to red. So as Sparky gets closer and closer to the wall, the LED will move more and more from a green value to more and more of a red value, ultimately indicating that it's going to stop once it's fully red, basically. And so we will leave the blue alone. and we will only manipulate the red and green. All right, so we've got distance already set up, and what's great, like I said, about these variables is they automatically populated over here. So I can, as I create variables, they will automatically show up in my toolbox. Like I said, the values from these, as you might see on the toolboxes, are that they're bound to 0 to 100. So we'll constrain this from 0 to 100. And we want the green to be large when distance is large. So that we're just going to plug in straight there. And then we want the red to be large when the distance is small. So we can go ahead and grab our distance variable again, and we'll grab that constrain function again. We'll pop the constrain in there, and then we'll do a distance. So we'll do distance. Let's just do this. How about this? We'll assign green value to that, and we'll set the red value to 100 minus the green value. Delete this, and we'll just go ahead and add those variables right in here. Green value and red value. Alright, so now we've got our LED, we've got our function all built up, and we just need to add this into the while loop. So just like the variables, the functions that you've defined show up immediately here. We can just go ahead and snap that in. And that should be it. So there's our sample application. And you can sort of play around with the other things on here. You can fiddle around with the sonar and the grippers and the wheels. Also, there's additional looping type of things and a variety of math functions. These boxes can be extended quite a bit, so if anybody has suggestions, go ahead and let me know. But down here we see a couple boxes. So the left-hand one is going to show us what our program looks like. And so what we've generated is perfectly valid JavaScript. Notice that it's changed all the spaces, which are invalid JavaScript characters, into underscores. We've got our color generating function up here, which is automatically created. And we've got all this down at the bottom of that there. At the bottom, we've got our full function, and we should be good to go. So with that, we should be, well, we got our function, and then we got the actual while loop down at the bottom. Okay, so with that, we should be done. We'll go ahead and sync this over to my phone. So by pressing this button, this will generate a shareable link for you. It'll also save it into your code, and it will simultaneously send across the code to my phone. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that as the next part of this. Alright, so now that we've got the application all ready to go, let's show sort of what it looks like on when we actually have the Sparky in front of us. So over here we have our application, and we see sort of Sparky. I've turned them on in the background. We should be able to connect over. And you see the blinking red light on the Sparky has gone to solid. That means that we've connected. From here you can go to robot control. You can move the robot up and back, and you can go to the sensors. You can control it. We're going to go show and show the programs here, and we see this program move to wall and change colors. That one that we just wrote. So go ahead and let me pop the camera on tripod here. There we go. And when we go ahead and open this program up, we should see the full application. We click Run. It should start indicating and doing exactly what we've told Sparky to do. And now, so we see the green light indicating that we're far away from the wall. We should see it again as it gets closer and closer. It's turning closer and closer to red. Now simultaneously you'll see on the application side, turn this up here, you see that it's indicating exactly which line of code it's running at the time. You can also see on the robot in the back, the LCD screen will show exactly what command has been received. And we see that it's getting redder and redder as we get closer and closer to the wall. And hopefully, there we go, we indicate a stop. And that's the end of the application. We see that down in the application we have nothing else that's running and turning red. So we've sort of completed it. So that sort of is a brief demo of how this all works, and if there are any questions, then please let me know. All right, thank you.